Hey guys, welcome to Ringsiders Wrestling. I am Jamie. He is Callum, and our very special guest, Missa Kate. How are you?
Chicago sweetheart, Missa Kate.
Chicago sweetheart.
Yeah, that's me. I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah,
How's Chicago?
It actually got very cold today. It was like I would even say almost close to the 90s, but it was like in the nice 80s for 3 days. And then it rained last night, and now it's like in the 30s again. So
yeah, I heard on Twitter today that it was like 2 degrees Celsius in Chicago, which is even.
We do Fahrenheit, so I'm not sure what that is, but
it's cold.
But yeah, I'm guessing if that's that, then yeah, it's like 30-something degrees Fahrenheit here. That's cool. I want to know that stuff. 30
degrees Fahrenheit. That's still quite cold, though, right?
Yes.
That's colder than here.
Yeah.
And the UK is always cold.
Yeah, but it's funny because once winter starts turning into spring, like 40 degrees is like people go outside with no jackets. But now because it was nice out, now it's freezing. Everyone's wearing jackets and all bundling up. So honestly, we're a very weird city.
As soon as we can travel again, Chicago is the first place we're going.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely love Chicago. Fell in love with it when we came.
What'd you guys do?
We went to All In. We went to All In at the Sears Center. So that was 2 years ago now. But we've been wanting to come back ever since we came because it's just such a cool city. Absolutely love it. Yeah,
you guys have to like fully experience the city the next time you're here.
Yeah.
Do all the dorky tourist stuff because we still do it even though we live here. But
yeah, we did the Sears Center, Millennium Park, all the tourist stuff. But there's still so much more to see, so we can't wait to come back.
That's why it's the best city in the world.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. The best food as well. The food's
amazing. I like you guys.
We're cool.
It's better than where we live. Never come to where we live. There's nothing to do here. So
really?
Yeah. In general, the UK is boring. So don't come here.
I just want to know though. I just to like experience, you know?
Yeah, I guess to wrestle it would be amazing. Like we've got a really good scene. We've got a really good wrestling scene here, but so does Chicago. And I guess that's why you're here to talk about wrestling and specifically wrestling in Chicago, because one of the reasons we've been wanting to get you on is we've actually been speaking to a lot of wrestlers from Chicago, and we work with a few of the companies in Chicago, like Warrior, for example. So we've kind of fallen in love with the Chicago wrestling scene. So when I found out you were from Chicago, I was like, we've got to get you on. So Chicago right now has an amazing wrestling scene.
Yes.
Where did that come from? Has it always been that way, or is that like a recent thing?
No, I think it's always been, as far like to my knowledge, Chicago has always been the heart of wrestling to me. And from what I've heard, even when you go back, I'm going to be a dork right now, but I just recently watched the John Cena CM Punk match that was in Money in the Bank, where he won and ran out of the crowd with the title.
So good.
In Chicago. And I think it was Michael Cole that said it. He's like, one of the best cities, wrestling cities, if not the best wrestling city in the world, because I'm like, we're so opinionated, but if we're behind you, we're behind you. But also, if you mess up, we're gonna let you know. So
that was such a cool moment, though, with CM Punk. I mean, that crowd erupted when CM Punk came out. The build-up to his theme playing was amazing. I get goosebumps whenever I watch that match.
But right now, as you're talking, I'm like,
it had to be in Chicago, though. That match wouldn't have worked anywhere else. It had to be Chicago, just because of the crowd as well. The crowd did that match justice. And
oh my God,
yeah. So
behind him. I don't think any other wrestler can have that same effect on their city that they're from. Like because I'm a Cena fan. He grew up in Massachusetts. So like I'll remember when I think it was like him and Edge when they had their rivalry going on and they went back to Boston or whatever. And they were still, obviously it's John Cena, homeboy. So sure, they're gonna be cheering for him, but it's nothing like I swear if you go back and watch the Punk and Cena match, you see the camera shaking from Everyone's just so freaking excited. So there's nothing that beats it. And I think that's why the wrestling scene here is why there's a lot of big names that come from here, because one, we take wrestling so seriously because we love it so much.
Yeah.
And when I have traveled to other places, or when people have actually came and trained with us, they in Chicago, they're like, oh my God, we're training in Chicago. Like, this is crazy. We're doing it. And I'm just like, I sometimes don't, I take it for granted because obviously we live here, or I live here. So me living here, I kind of forget about that time to time. So when those people do come in, I kind of like, it's kind of like, damn, you're right. Like, it's Chicago. It's Chicago wrestling, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and you train at Freelance, right?
Yes, I do now. Yeah, I've been training for over a year now.
Because I've heard good things about the Freelance training school, especially from, I think it's Isaiah Velasquez we had on. He was saying a lot of good things about the training school. And Trevor Outlaw has been saying good things about it as well. So what's that been like for you, training with Freelance?
It's literally a little community. Like, we're a little family where you have the typical brother and sister, like, you guys tease each other, you might get arguments here and there, but at the end of the day, we know we're all family.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. Like, we got each other's back. Not saying we're like, screw you if you're an outsider, but we're always going to have each other's back. And Isaiah is one of the trainers. Bryce Benjamin's another one of the trainers. And you have Matt Nix, who you might know wrestled on AEW against Cody Rhodes. He's the owner of Freelance. So, yeah, like them three, they're they each have their like own part, and like it just works. It just works. We all make it work. And from a student standpoint, I'm very happy with where I am.
Yeah.
Because you could tell they care.
Yeah, Isaiah, for example, when we spoke to him, he was saying, obviously he's a trainer there, but he had nothing but good things to say about the people he teaches, and he loves teaching. And I was like, you can tell how passionate he is about teaching as well. So you're obviously in good hands with people like him. So you've also started, obviously you don't just wrestle or train at Freelance, you do wrestle elsewhere in Chicago. And I believe you've got, is it Zelo Pro coming up soon? Or is that show being cancelled?
So it's been canceled, unfortunately.
I heard a rumor about it this morning. Yeah.
I'm so sad. I was so excited to beat up that spider. No, but it just, the Zelo shows is another company that I like really enjoy working for, just because again, it's like a little family there. And I'd like to say, and I know I've said it before in a past interview, but I know Zelo takes, like, with everything going on, they take so many precautions. There have been incidences where people maybe didn't have their test results in time. Because of that, they weren't able to be on the show. So just so people understand how serious they take it at Zelo, it's very serious. So the fact that they're canceling this, please know it's in everyone's like best interest.
Yeah.
And we're still, even if we are able to find another venue, it will still be equally, if not more, how do you say, just like above and beyond, just taking every kind of precaution possible.
Yeah, good for them for taking it so seriously. I mean, I'm sure there's promoters in the world somewhere who would just carry on running the show, and at least they're taking.
Unfortunately, there's a couple of those. I'm aware of those, but yeah.
At least they're taking the talent's health seriously and the fans, and obviously when the show does happen, it'll be worth it, because I've heard nothing but good things about their shows. From what we've seen on social media, it's becoming that hot new promotion, which has, well, not new promotion, it's been around for a while, but it's getting a lot more attention nowadays. Bringing in names like the former Aiden English, which I think is awesome that they've got him there. And that must be cool. And Shaul Guerrero is wrestling there soon. And we spoke to Shaul recently, and she was saying how excited she is for the show, which I think is just being cancelled, unfortunately. But I'm sure there'll be other times, where it's going to happen. But yeah, what's the best part of wrestling for Zelo? Because it looks like it's an incredible promotion.
Right now, I say we're the Zelo is one of, if not the only promotion that has consistent storylines throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
And I think this is not a bash to the indies, but I think it has been unfortunately lost a lot throughout the indies and a lot of promotions.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of. I could be totally wrong. Everyone could comment and say like, you don't know what you're talking about, which is fine. But as far as I know, Zelo is the only one that has consistent storylines, and they're really focused on building people. And with that, they are, I like saying cahoots. They're in cahoots with the Freelance Training Academy. So they do like building the students from where we are at Freelance Academy, up, put them on the show, and just show what we got, because we train hard. We train 5 days a week. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So, and depending on what level you are, you can go to all classes, because there are beginner classes, there's advanced classes. But if you're more than willing to go all 5 days a week, that's also an option.
Right.
But so we put in work. We put in some work.
What I've noticed as well lately is I feel like there's almost like a resurgence again with the female wrestlers. Yourself, Blair Onyx, Elena Black, Sky Blue. I know you've been in the ring with those girls. What's it like being coming up with those girls and competing with those girls? Because, like I said, I think there's a resurgence again coming.
Yeah, there's some amazing talent.
Talented girls coming up again. So what's that been like coming up with those girls?
It's definitely, it's fun, but it's also like a learning experience, because we're all learning together, because we are all around the same time frame. So it's we're all learning together, we're all growing together. So it's a very cool, weird period in all of our careers. You have some people like Elena Black, she was just on AEW, which I'm like, we've been rivals, right? Kaiju, we were rivals and stuff, but I'm still happy to see her on there. That's awesome that she got there. Hopefully one day all of us could get to that level, but right now she's the first one. But again, it's fucking awesome. Sorry, I swear. It's freaking awesome.
Swear all you want.
Can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
You can swear as much as you want.
I was holding it in so hard. But anyway, no, but yeah, it's fun, because we're all, between the all four of us that you just mentioned as well, we're all very different styles, and we're all very different characters or people. So I think that dynamic is fun to watch all of us kind of exceed and like grow as well. Since we're all different. But it's definitely, it's fun. And I think there's definitely a little competition between all of us, in a good way, a healthy competition.
You've got to have competition, right?
Yeah. So
my goal now is, for the remainder of this interview, is to see how many F-bombs we can make you drop.
Fucking go.
There we go. Now we're talking.
All the fucking time now.
Yeah.
I'm such a lady.
There we go. This is what I love. Be yourself. Swear. Fucking go for it, girl. We don't care. But yeah. Sorry, Callum, go on.
I was going to say, it's not like we're monetized by YouTube, so we're not going to lose money for swearing or anything. So swear all you want.
Nice.
Okay. Who cares about money, man? You can't take it with you. So, fuck that. Swear all you want.
Can buy stuff with it though, Jamie. It would be nice.
Yeah.
I love you.
But yeah, as well, I'm kind of like with Callum as well. I'm so very desperate to come back to Chicago.
Yeah.
And like you said, just the whole scene itself. I remember we went to All In, because that was the first time I'd been to a show in America, and it was a dream. It was on my bucket list to always be a part of a Chicago crowd. Just going back to what you were saying earlier, we walked into that arena, and the stage, it was literally shaking. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. I mean, my chest was vibrating.
Because you feel the energy.
Yeah.
My God, it was incredible. It was incredible. It is the greatest city I've ever been to in my life.
I'll say this. I've been to 3 WrestleManias, and
all right, rub it in.
I know, right? I haven't been to 1 yet, but he's over here like, I've been to 3.
Yeah,
right. I know. Yeah.
But the atmosphere at All In was better than any WrestleMania I've been to. And there was like 10 times less people in the crowd, but it felt like there was 10 times more people. Like there was 10,000 people at All In, and it sounded like 100,000. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I just love to do. I just want to come back and see the indies in Chicago. I mean, we've got a good scene in the UK. It's really good, but there's nothing going on right now in the UK. We don't have any wrestling at all. Like, there's no shows whatsoever. So
yeah, and that's how for the next 2 months, from my knowledge, a lot of shows unfortunately have gotten canceled.
Right.
Yeah, like just probably in the past 2 weeks, been getting notified like, oh, sorry, we can't have the show anymore. I'm like, damn. I'm like, and the shows that are going on, they're like fully booked up. And I know they're trying to work with what they can, and try to make everybody happy. But yeah, it sucks. I'm like, it sounds bad, but I'm like an addict. I'm like, bro, I need to have a match. Like, but
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something, like you said, you train for sometimes 5 times a week. You're used to wrestling, I guess, most weekends, and traveling for it and training for it. So when you don't have that, it's a huge part of your life, which there's a void there, isn't there? And when you can't wrestle, like you said, you're like an addict. You need it again. So
and over this whole quarantine, like, I know for a lot of wrestlers, this is their only source of income.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it became mine as well because I got let go. So as it started dwindling down, the shows, I know, like, I can't imagine what a lot of people are going through. Like, I'm fortunate that I do have a good support system. I know a lot of people don't have that. So that's where my mind goes. Like, yeah, as bad as I want to get back in the ring, I think about, like, holy crap, like these are these people's lives. This is their money. And now they don't have their income at all.
I guess, Pete, there's a difference between wanting to get back in the ring and needing to get back in the ring. Yeah. Some people need to get back in the ring to make a living. And that is a shame. That is a massive shame. Hopefully, I mean, at the first half of next year, hopefully things are going to start picking up and turning around. But even...
Sorry, I didn't mean to put a damper on it. I was just like, nobody really talks about this. So I was like...
Yeah, it's... I mean...
Well, like they said, man, there's potentially a vaccine coming in the next few months. So
hopefully.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel. I work at the hospital, Kate, and we've been told to prepare to give vaccines out from December. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. My plan is me and Callum will be hitting Chicago this time next year. Or maybe August time.
No, dude, if we can travel in the summer, I'm coming back for the summer.
Freelance show, no show. Both of you guys better be there.
I'm right.
Oh, we'll be there.
We'll be doing them all.
Hey, if he's coming, I'm coming. Believe me. We will be there, and we will be having a beer, Kate, as well. You'll be joining us for a beer with the old.
Trevor Outlaw said we have to stay with him, so he was like, "You have to stay with me when you guys come over. You're staying with me, and I'll take you out." And I was like, "Trevor, that is absolutely fine." So I'll let him. Yeah, so we can't wait. But obviously, we've spoken about how much we want to come over there. Is wrestling in the UK a goal of yours then?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to. Before all this, there was a possibility of me going to Mexico, which I was like terrified of, but at the same time, I was like, "This is cool. This happens."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, quarantine happened, so that got scratched. But yeah, I was just from me having that option of maybe possibly going to Mexico. Excuse me, I like swallowed my own spit. Inhaled my own spit. See, I'm so excited. But no, like even that like possibility of me going there, I was just like, I want to go everywhere. Not that I didn't want to before, but now it was like a possibility. Like it's in my reach. I'm like, I want to go everywhere. And Shaza McKenzie was here for one show one of the shows that she did over here. We had a match together actually. And she was briefly telling me about some stuff over there. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of time to talk, but I was just like, damn, I definitely want to experience that scene a little bit. It sounds like a fun time, but yeah.
It's cool. It's cool over here. But speaking of Shazza as well, I mean, we had Shazza on a few months ago. What was it like working with her? Because she's such a talented girl.
She is I don't know. I wish she stayed longer. I want to have a singles match with her. I think because the match that we did have was a triple threat.
Right.
Which it was, it was a good match. It was fun. But I really, just to pick her brain and then just her and I just to go at it, I feel like we would have a fun time.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty, I think, I'd like to say she's a hard hitter. So she's from the UK, right? But yeah, I feel like it would be a fun, like, hard-hitting match between both of us. So definitely on my bucket list to have a singles match with her.
Yeah.
Is that a style you like as well? And I'm guessing you like the hard-hitting, no-nonsense style. Is that what you're more into?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a background in like kickboxing and soccer. And in soccer, I was like, or in football, like you guys call it, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know some stuff. But I was defense, mid D or mid. But I was also like the enforcer.
Same as me. I was the same. Yeah.
Nice. But were you like the enforcer of the team? Meaning like they'd be like, hey, number so and so's getting pushy. And I'll be like, okay, I'm on it, and then just kind of, that was me.
I was actually, yeah.
I've got cards in my career.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I like the grappling. I like the hard hitting. I wish I could do more high flying, but my body doesn't like leaving the ground. So, but definitely bucket list goal is to be able to do a moonsault and the whisper in the wind because I'm a fan of the Hardy Boys and Lita. But yeah, I like the hard hitting. I like the grappling. I don't know. I just like wrestling. So
yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, that's it, Osaka. It's like the British style, I guess, as well. It's like, we're no nonsense over here. We'll just punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. Oh my God, I did. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Soraya Neidhart came here. I did a seminar for her. She is no joke, dude. I was like, I love this girl, like, or woman. But I was like, oh my God. I'm like, can you train me forever? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead with what you're saying.
No, she's awesome.
No,
she really is awesome.
It is just a punch you in the mouth kind of thing, but I'm totally with you on a lot of that stuff as well, and with the football as well. I've got two very dodgy knees, which are completely messed up from years of basically, if I didn't get the ball, I was taking the man. And my knees are really fucked up, shall we say, to be honest.
What'd you have done? I tore both my ACLs.
I've actually got my ACL at the moment are currently wasting away. It's called what's it called? I've got a mucoid degeneration of my ACLs. So they're kind of wearing away. But it's years of like I said, if I didn't get the ball, I'm taking the man out, and my knees are taking a battering from it now. And I'm an old man. I'm 36 now, so my knees are getting older and older. But
and it's such they can't fix it until it like completely tears. I know that much.
Yeah, that's it. Well, they've told me I'll probably need an operation in a few years, which is fine. But the cold weather doesn't help as well, because at the moment,
oh my God, it's the worst.
They're killing me at the minute. They're absolutely killing me. I thought, I was like, oh, my knees are all right. And then literally this past couple of weeks with the cold weather, I'm like, shit, here we go.
Yeah, once it gets cold and rainy, that's when I'm just like, I need to sit down all the time. Yeah. Like, I need a chair. But
Totally. I did pick up as well some. Obviously, you mentioned the Hardys and Lita. I'm guessing, were they inspirations for you to get into the business? Was it just them, or was there any other inspirations?
My first one was Lita. I saw her and I was just like, she's badass bitch. Like, I loved her. I'm like, she got in with the guys. She was a tomboy, and at the time, like, growing up, I was always a tomboy that got rough with the guys or whatever. I'd wrestle them in the snow, all that fun stuff. And I was the only chick that I knew of my friends that was kind of like that big of a tomboy. So seeing her, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not the only one. So seeing that relation, I was like, I'm hooked on her. But then I saw the Hardy Boys, and I'm like, crush on Jeff Hardy, of course. As all girls do. But and I'm just like, the ladder matches, that once I started doing my research, watching the ladder matches they put on with Edge and Christian, I'm like, these dudes are awesome. But John Cena is another one of mine. Just because, well, one is John Cena, but he is entertaining to me.
Yeah.
So so those are my two main. And I'm gonna stop there because otherwise there'll be like a laundry list. But yeah.
Well, who else is on? I kind of want to know. Give us your top
Okay.
5. So
Okay.
you're giving us Jeff Hardy.
I can't do top 5. It changes all the time. I could tell you Mickey is up there, Mickey James, Victoria, China. I recently started looking up Alundra Blade's matches with now I can't Bull
Nakano.
Yeah, Bull Nakano. I was like, I can never remember how to say Nakano. So I'm kind of like invested in like the old school stuff right now with them. So I'm like, right now they're in there. Edge, once I started becoming a wrestler, like people like Edge and Randy Orton, I started appreciating. Undertaker, obviously, Shawn Michaels, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of people that probably people wouldn't expect me to like.
Why? I tell you what. Why you're thinking as well. Edge is the coolest guy I have ever met in my life. He did a UK tour a couple of years ago, and I mean, it came out to the Foo Fighters, which is, you know, they're gods to me. And I was like, this is cool. And he literally is the Edge you see on TV, laughing and joking and being a dork. That is the real Edge. And I was like, oh my God, dude, you are the coolest guy. He's just an absolute sweetheart. And every time he mentioned Christian, he made us all shout Christian's a dick. Literally every time he mentioned him, it was just such a cool, funny guy. So I can totally see why he's on your list, because he's on my list as well.
Yeah, which is crazy because I'm like, I remember because I was such a Cena fan, I was like all chain gang, all that stuff. When him and Edge were having the rivalry, I was like, I can't fucking stand this dude. Get the hell out of here. Like, you're a scumbag. And then once I got into business, I was like, he's amazing. Like, he is so good. But that's awesome to hear that he's a great person in real life. Because
he's lovely. He's one of the nicest,
Yeah, because there's like a saying that says never meet your heroes because you get disappointed.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to know that one I can meet. I can be like, okay. Like my biggest fear is meeting like Cena or Lita, and then I don't think so because I've heard nice stuff about them.
Well, I have met Lita as well. She's a sweetheart, and
I was supposed to meet her. I was supposed to meet her at a seminar, and the world shut down. Anyway, continue.
My biggest regret, I've told Callums before, is the WWE did a tour a few years ago in the UK, and I happened to be in the same hotel as the WWE. And I was with a friend of mine, and she brought her little boy along. And my biggest regret was I didn't get a photo with John Cena, because he came over and he sat with my friend's son, took a picture, signed his autograph book, and then came back. They were leaving the next morning, and he actually saw us and came back over and actually said to the little boy, "Can I give you another autograph? So I've got 2 in your book, and everybody else only got 1." And it was so humble and sweet. And to this day, I kick myself for not getting a picture with him. But I get another sweet guy, really quiet and humble. The Cena you see on TV, he's not the Cena in real life. He's very, very quiet and respectful and humble. It's a lovely man.
Oh, that makes me happy. My heart.
Yeah.
I saw John Cena. It's not as cool of a story, but it was at WrestleMania 32, and it was meant to come out. It'd been off for a while, and he was coming back for a big return at WrestleMania 32. And I was walking around the back of the arena, and there was John Cena getting out of a car, and I waved down, and I was like, "It's John Cena," and he just like looked at me as if to say, "Oh shit, someone's seen me." And just, like gave me this awkward wave while I'm taking a picture of him.
Cena. What do you mean?
So I took a picture of him, and he's just like waving at me. I put it on my Facebook, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? John Cena's coming back." And I was like, "Yeah, I did kind of just spoil that," but I had to take a picture of him. Like you don't just see John Cena and not take a picture.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you have to.
The weird one with me is when I went to the hotel and you first saw them all, I walked in. And in the cafe, as we got there, there's John Cena sat having a coffee and a muffin with Hornswoggle. And I'm like, this is just the most surreal.
That's gotta be a sight.
It was just, I was like, this is the most weirdest thing in the world. I'm like,
that's awesome.
John Cena and Hornswoggle having a muffin and a coffee together. And it was just blew my mind. It was really just bizarre.
That's a sitcom waiting to happen.
Hornswoggle, I have met. He's been at a freelance show, and he actually at She-Lance he was at, and he gave us all back critiques for our match. He's another guy that's like really sweet.
I've
Yeah.
heard good things about him.
Yeah.
He's got a good sense of humor because
Oh my god, yeah.
he was on Talking Shopper Mania a few months ago, and some of the stuff that had him doing, I was like, you need a good sense of humor to do that kind of wrestling, that kind of comedy. So yeah, I really like Hornswoggle. It's good to know he's a nice guy as well.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of nice guys out there. I know what you mean, though. You know, you always say like, don't meet your heroes, kind of a thing. Because my hero is Dave Grohl, and I want nothing more than to meet Dave Grohl. But there's that little, and everyone says he's the nicest guy in the world. But there's that little part of me that's like, Dan, if I ever get the chance to meet him, I'm terrified that he's going to say, nah, fuck off, dickhead. I don't want to talk to you. But I totally get what you mean with that. Yeah, I do. But I'm happy to tell you, you meet Edge. Nicest guy I ever met. Nice
bucket list. I definitely like now that it'll probably never happen. Definitely never happen. But now that intergender stuff is starting to become the norm, I'm like, he's definitely like on my bucket list to have a match with, or even if I just manage or something, because I'm like, I just want to pick your brain so much, dude. Like, yeah. Like, I just want to just let me be some part, even if I'm on the opposing side, managing the opposing side, just something. Give me something.
As long as you've had some kind of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is that something you're interested in as well? Then the intergender stuff, is that you want to get in there and kick some guys' asses?
Oh yeah, 100%. I guess I've had a few intergender matches. I was actually, I'm probably gonna I'll post it tomorrow, so if you watch on my Instagram. I had a match where I was the only female in a 6-way, like a screen match.
Cool.
It was really fun. Like all the guys involved were really cool. I've had a singles match against my trainer Bryce Benjamin at a lucha show. So I got to show some of my lucha that I guess I kind of do come off the ground a little bit, but I had Tyler Sullivan singles match against him on an Army base actually, or a Navy base. So there's no record of it for obvious reasons, but I have fun because I'm just like, no matter who you're in the ring with, you need to be telling that story with that person. And I feel like having matches with guys, I can tell a different story, again, depending on their size, depending on their style, whatever. I think it's always fun to see how can you combine my style, that person's style, and make it work and still have a fun, good match out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so open to intergender wrestling. Zelo, I keep putting over Zelo, but Zelo just came out with another title that's for anybody. So
all right, cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna be gunning for it. But yeah, so I'm just like, I'm excited to see where that goes, because I'm like, am I gonna be in that opportunity? Or in the, but yeah, I'm a wrestling nerd. So
well, that's great, because we're all wrestling nerds. So you're in good company here. You're all right.
I'm wearing a wrestling shirt to the interview. Like I'm like, oh, it's a wrestling interview. I gotta wear a shirt. Yeah, but yeah, it's just I feel like if you're in the business and you're a true wrestling fan, then you should be able to have any kind of match. You should be able to have be open to any kind of match, again, as long as it makes sense, as long as everything makes sense, tells a story. So and on my podcast there will be an upcoming episode. I don't know when we're going to release it, but there will be an intergender wrestling episode.
Awesome. And because you do have a podcast, don't you? So yeah, do you want to plug your podcast a bit? Like, tell us a bit more about it for the people who haven't heard it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's called Agree to Disagree Podcast. I try to promote it as much as I can on my Instagram. So look out on my stories. Mainly I post it on Twitter. I don't have it in front of me. We unfortunately have because Twitter and Instagram, you can only have certain handles. because a lot of them are taken. But I know it's A2D_pod and A2D, which is ATOD_podcast. I don't remember which one's Instagram. I don't remember which one's Twitter. I'm sorry.
I'll put the links in the description anyway.
Yeah, or you could just creep on my Twitter. That'll be the best. But yeah, and then which my Twitter is Missa Kate 11, which is the same as Instagram. So I'm the worst at social media. I'm sorry.
Now I am very aware of time with this whole Zoom thing because I'm not very into technology, so I'm still trying to understand Zoom. But it's been brought to my attention that you're very good friends with Shotzi Blackheart.
Sure. I wouldn't say very good friends. We're not like texting each other every night.
Yeah.
But yeah, the couple match, she was my first match in wrestling, and I was one of her last matches out of the indies. So it was kind of cool because I'm like, oh, it's like a story in itself. But yeah, she's a cool person. I'm so happy for her. I was a fan of her before I even started wrestling. So when I found out she was my first match, mainly because her hair is green and my favorite color is green, so that's what attracted me to her. Yeah. So yeah, she's an awesome person.
And you never know. I mean, maybe that story can continue. You know, NXT could be on the horizon. You never know. You know, I'd pay good money to see that match. I really would.
Yeah.
But anytime. But I'm sorry, I keep looking at the clocks. I know we're on a limit, aren't we here, Callum? So.
I think that something popped up saying that we've actually got longer, but I have no idea what. So, I know it's usually 40 minutes, but it doesn't tell us how long we've been recording. I hate Zoom, but it's.
Well, I mean, I don't want to cut Kate short. I mean, we can talk a little bit longer if she wants to.
Keep going.
Down, yeah.
Keep going.
I'm easy. I don't mind at all. But are there goals for you in the future then? You know, NXT, AEW, places like that. Are they the goals?
Yeah, I think everyone's goal, depending on what you started when you first started watching wrestling, what you started watching wrestling. I'm phrasing this totally incorrectly. I'm sorry. But for me, like I started watching WWE. That's what sparked my interest in wrestling. Some people it's Japan, some people it's AEW. So my goal is WWE, obviously. So NXT 100%. I'd love to work on AEW, maybe a dark match or something. AEW dark match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know it's like, I feel like everyone says like, I don't care, I want to wrestle everywhere, which it's true. And it's a corny answer and it sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's honest. Like I'm down to work for like any company. It's fun working new people. It's fun working like different places. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep rambling, but yeah. But
you're an independent wrestler.
There's a lot of bucket list goals, and yes, every single one that you just mentioned is definitely on my list.
Yeah, well, we spoke to Ush Edwards the other night, and he put it pretty nicely. Actually, he said, "I'd be a fool not to take any phone call."
Yeah,
and I get that's the same with you. You know, whoever comes calling, you'd be a fool not to take that call.
Yeah. If everything's, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. So yeah, hopefully one day I'll get a call. Don't know if it's gonna be sooner or later, but hopefully one day. But yeah, it's same like how you said, I'd be a fool not to answer.
Hey, that'll be cool though, because let's say you do pop up on NXT, we can be like, oh, we interviewed her.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Don't become too big though. Don't forget me and Callum, right? Don't forget these two guys.
Oh my God. Hey, if I ever come out to the UK, I'm buying you guys a beer. So I'm never gonna forget. Yeah.
Hey, now you've won me over already. You know, that's buying me a beer. That's all I need to hear.
That should have been the first line of the interview.
Yeah.
And it goes vice versa because we will be coming back to Chicago next year, so we'll be buying the beer as well.
We'll buy you a beer.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We'll have a beer. We'll have a few whiskeys. You know, we'll rock and roll. We'll cause some shit.
See, I'm weird. I'm not a big beer person. I do like the fruity drinks, like Mike's and stuff. but like I either like the fruity drinks or just give me a hard shot. Like I like ciders though. I like ciders because they're sweeter. But yeah, I'm down to take some shots.
Let's do it. I'm down with that. You know, you put whiskey in front of me, I'm happy as a pig in shit.
I used to like whiskey, so I used to.
Yeah, my first experience with whiskey. So my grandfather came from Europe at 18. Right. So, you know, they were giving their kids like anything and everything. No, you know, I was like 4 and his brother from Europe was over and they're taking shots. And they gave me like a little one and they're just like, here, just try it. So I did, obviously, because that's my grandfather. I'm going to listen to him. And I didn't realize just from that little bit, like I felt funny after. Now I know I was getting like buzzed. At the time, I was just like, but yeah, that was my first experience with whiskey.
it must be a granddad thing because mine was the same.
Same. My granddad too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought it was me all this time. That's so cool.
No, it's weird because my dad doesn't like whiskey, but my granddad does. So I've obviously got it off my granddad. And literally, I mean, he passed away a few years ago at 94 years old, and he had a glass of whiskey every single night before he went to bed.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I've got it off him. I've clearly got it off him. So thank you, Granddad, for making me an alcoholic. So, yeah. But it's I'm the same. I am absolutely the same. But no, I'd love to see you in NXT. Like I said a minute ago with the whole Shotzi thing, I think that'd be a great storyline.
Yeah, that's a great story.
You know, you and Shotzi. But another place I could see you as well is Impact. Because we say this a lot, and Impact has got one of the best female divisions anywhere at the moment. Could that be another place that you'd be interested in going? I said the female division there is probably the best in the world.
Yeah, right now, I think their women's division is so stacked. Deonna Purrazzo, she is someone that before she even got signed to NXT, because I do like the grappling and the technician work of wrestling. I watched a lot of her stuff, and I'm just like, I'd love to get in the ring with her. I'd be interested to see what we would do. But she's someone that I always wanted to get in the ring with. Taya Valkyrie also over there. When she was at Lucha Underground, I'm like, this bitch is crazy. I need to have like a hardcore match with her or something. But yeah, like Rosemary's another one. Sue Young, like how you said, they have a stacked card right now. Or a stacked roster for the women's division. So yeah, 100%. That's definitely a possibility or an option that I'm interested in.
Callum, make it happen.
All right.
No pressure.
Yeah. Let me just make a call. All right.
Yeah, no pressure, but I'm just saying, if you don't make it happen, then you don't get a beer.
I don't drink. I'll have a Pepsi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's another thing, Kate. When we come over to Chicago, you come over here, it's going to be me and you getting drunk.
Okay.
I stopped drinking last year. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Mom.
The Pepsi kid will still come along, but it'll be me and you drinking the hard stuff.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I'll have a double Pepsi. Neat. So,
ooh, nice. On the rocks.
On the rocks, yeah. Pepsi on the rocks.
It does go crazy sometimes. I will admit, it does sometimes. You know, it does have that Pepsi without the rocks sometimes. So he's a crazy guy. He really is. But I'm still weary of time. So because I know we had Kerry Silkin on a few weeks ago from Ring of Honor, and we did Zoom with him, and we got told you can go longer, and then literally Kerry just disappeared.
Yeah.
No.
And then it happened with Puff as well. It cut off at about 42 minutes. I think.
Hey, worst case, we'll have a part 2 in the future.
Hey, we'll have a part 2 anyway. We've got to get you back on in the future.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, there's no ifs or anything about it. We will have a part 2.
Yes.
You have to come back on. You don't have a choice.
Yeah. Because we enjoy doing this. We enjoy speaking to the wrestlers and the talents, and we appreciate the time that you give us. And we love the fact that a lot of the people we speak to, it's becoming easy to speak to. That it's almost a friendship building. And I've got that feeling with you. You know, you're cool, you're laid back, you're funny. It's been easy to talk to you. And you know, we definitely have to have a part 2. We'll have a part 3, 4, 5, and 6. I mean,
I'm so down.
You know, whenever you want to come back on, you come back on. It's our pleasure. It's your time. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me on. This is like, for us, it's always fun because you only really get to see what is on shows, pretty much, of people and wrestlers. So doing stuff like this, like, I'm so appreciative of you guys for even reaching out, because this gives me a chance for people to know my story, and know you guys as well. So
I always find it's the coolest thing. Like, you know, you follow these people on social media, you watch them wrestle, but when we get to speak to them, you find out like these are just real people with real lives, and how interesting these people are, and they're so humble and kind, and everyone we speak to, it's just, I think we've done over 100 now, over 100 interviews, and every single person we've spoken to has just been so cool. We could do this every day. We pretty much do speak to people every day, but it's worth it every time. So we never get bored of it, and hopefully want to do it for like the next few years, you know. So there will be a chance for you to come back on and tell us how it's going, and like if you're going to be debuting in NXT. If you are
debuting, next time I'm on, right?
Yeah, if you are in NXT, you know, or I'll put in that call to Impact for you.
Yep, there you go.
See what you can do.
But that's what I pay him to do. Good boy, Callum. Good boy.
Nice.
But no, please come back anytime. It doesn't have to be next year. You could come back on next week for all we care. It's just, it's an absolute pleasure.
Between all three of us, we got so many stories to tell. So I'm down.
Of course we have. Of course we have. But before you go, plug your social medias, plug your merchandise. Tell us where we can find you.
All right. No pressure. All right. Let's see if I got
no pressure at all.
Well, if you go, Twitter and Instagram is both Missa Kate 11, which is spelled MISSA KATE. I know a lot of people think my name's Miss Kate. There's an A in there. But if you go in there, there is a link in each of those bios, Twitter and Instagram, that gives you a little baby laundry list of where you can get some Missa merch. Or if you're looking to support, there's a Patreon there that you could subscribe to. My YouTube's linked on there, and I got to get my podcast on there next.
Of course.
So,
go for it.
But yeah, so click on there, and it tells you all different ways to support and where to find me. Mostly active on Instagram though, because that's the only one that makes sense to me.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah, I get that totally. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't have Facebook. I have an Instagram. I have a Twitter, but Instagram's the best one for me.
Yeah.
But it has been an absolute pleasure. I could speak all night. You know, if we do Zoom again next time, or we do Skype, we can go all night. So,
do Skype.
I gotta figure that out. That's one of those that I'm like, I don't know how to work this. I'll figure it out.
I didn't know how to use anything. Callum has to teach me everything when it comes to anything technology-wise. I need Callum. So I'm with you there. But it has been an absolute pleasure. We will reach back out and get you back on if you want to come back on next week or in 2 weeks. We'll get that sorted out. We'll do some more talking, some more chatting shit, and we'll rock and roll. But, cheers, Missa Kate.
Thank
we
you.
are Ringsiders.
This was a fucking awesome podcast. See, I got one more in there.
There you go. Fucking F-bombs. Rock and roll.